What's up, Clutch City? Welcome to episode 6. I am your host, Bridget Falcone, joined as always by Tyler Milner and Orion Lewis. So there's a lot to unpack, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The 2020 NBA All-Star Game took place this weekend. Team LeBron triumphed over Team Giannis 157-155, with Chicago native Anthony Davis securing the game-winning free throw shot. Kawhi Leonard took home the first ever Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP award, and the rules were a little bit different this year. So guys, I guess I just want to talk a little bit about how y'all think the rules affected the way that the game was played. You definitely saw a lot more arguing, I think, arguing with the refs, arguing with each other. And I think that people were playing for a little bit more. Players were actually cared about what happened in the game. Orion, I'll start with you. What did you think about the game?
Yeah, they definitely cared about the game more, and just the atmosphere of the entire weekend was a lot better, and it was a lot more. They had the urge to play every single quarter. I think the NBA did an excellent job this year with the weekend. The new rules, like we're talking about right now, they added they had two 4-point shots in the 3-point contest. They had the good performances by Chicago natives Common, Chance the Rapper, even Damian Lillard had a performance. Awesome. Yeah, they had the tributes to Kobe and the other victims in the helicopter crash. And the words from Magic Johnson about Kobe Bryant and ex-commissioner David Stern. I just think Magic Johnson really he really hit a nerve of people that are like in the NBA family. Like it made you feel like everything is gonna be okay like afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing to see, especially Adam Silver. Adam Silver did a really good job of listening to the players and what they want to do in the game. Like it was Chris Paul's idea to do the new rules in the All-Star game with the untimed fourth quarter.
Right.
So I just think the NBA is doing a really good job being thoughtful, being progressive, and I think Chicago was a great host for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler, what did you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think the weekend overall was a success, like Orion was saying, especially, I don't know, I find myself comparing it to the other All-Star games, whether it be in baseball or football's Pro Bowl. I mean, it's just, the weekend itself overall is just so much better. It's such a better grade of entertainment than what the Pro Bowl's been doing, or even what the Major League Baseball All-Star Game does.
Yeah,
so,
good point. I never thought about that.
So
it was the production value was just stellar.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about what our favorite plays of the game were. So, of course, I'm all about the theatrics, and I absolutely loved Giannis blocking LeBron right at the end. One of the most impressive blocks, actually, in NBA All-Star Game history. And, yeah, just the theatrics of them both being, you know, team captains, and, you know, LeBron is the reigning king and Giannis is, you know, trying to overthrow him. I loved that. Also loved Chris Paul's performance. I think he really is able to shut up the haters. His age isn't a factor. You know, clearly it is not a factor.
Yeah, he played really well.
Tyler, what were your favorite plays?
Well, first of all, the thing I hated the most about that Giannis block was freaking Steph Curry's little Twitter video.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Steph Curry, and he doesn't make it any easier for me to like him. What? Just stop it, man. Just stop. But anyway, my favorite play was probably the CP3 dunk. He caught the alley-oop from none other than the Rockets' own Russell Westbrook, so that was cool.
His replacement.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just seeing CP3 dunk, not only at his age, but, I mean, he's a little guy. He doesn't do it often. The last time he dunked the ball was the 2015 season, so it's rare. It's only the second alley-oop he's ever had in his entire career. So that was a really cool play. That was kind of electrifying.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan, what was yours?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's my favorite play. It's like the last play of the game, though. So the last play of the game, right before the last play of the game, Joel Embiid gets fouled by LeBron. He makes 2 free throws. It's 156-155. And on the inbounds pass, because Team LeBron called a timeout, so the inbounds plays at half court. Right. So on the inbounds pass, James Harden is somehow wide open in the mid-range area on like the left side of the court. He tries to drive, and everybody's like, okay, James Harden's about to end the game. The game's over. He's wide open. He's going to take the shot. He doesn't take the shot. And, I mean, whenever I look back at the play, Joel Embiid is coming from the top of the key. He probably, if James Harden goes up for a layup, he probably gets blocked. And he couldn't really put it off the glass at the angle he was at because he's like coming from the corner almost.
Right.
So I'm thinking James Harden in his mind is like, I don't have an opportunity to get a shot off unless he floated it. That was really the only opportunity he had to get a shot off. So he passes it to the corner, and then it's a scramble on the Team Giannis defense, and then it comes out to the top of the key for Team LeBron. And then the play, they reset it, and then LeBron ends up seeing that Anthony Davis down low has a mismatch with Kyle Lowry, and the rest is history.
Sure.
This is our professional play-by-play analysis guy. That was incredible. I feel like I was genuinely watching, ESPN, TNT. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you.
You've got a healthy future, sir. So speaking on Harden, how about this Harden-Giannis drama that is going on? It's been about a year. Started off in 2019, about January, when Giannis. This isn't necessarily when it started, but the tip of the play.
Oh my gosh.
Giannis just chunks that ball and it hits James right in the face, knocks him to the ground.
It's a rocket off the face.
His beard didn't protect him.
So that was the first instance of them having any sort of beef. Then when Giannis won the MVP award, of course, James said that the only reason that he won was because he was the media narrative. The media liked him more. Not saying that was true or untrue, but go James Harden.
Actually, I don't know if it's the media likes Giannis more. I think it's more they don't like James Harden.
Don't like James Harden.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Houston in general. I mean,
yeah. Well, we don't make it easy on it. And then with Giannis saying this weekend, offensively, we were just trying to find whoever James Harden was guarding. He said, that's who we thought we'd have the opportunity to score on. Wow, what a jab. It's disrespectful, what a jab. Let's just break down this Harden-Giannis drama just a little bit to bring it back to Houston. Orion, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, James Harden into the game, final possessions in the untimed fourth quarter. It's 146. Giannis has the ball at the top of the key, and Harden just bodies him up, really. He tries to get by him, bodies him up, force him to pass it off. Later, 153, Team LeBron's up. Harden has no help defending Kemba Walker at the top of the key, who's a faster guard than James Harden. You would expect Kemba, with how people say James Harden plays defense, you would expect Kemba Walker to be able to get by him easy for a bucket.
Yeah.
That's what you would think.
James Harden forces him to a side, forces him to pass, and then actually after the pass switches onto the player that got passed to, which was Kyle Lowry. He stops Kyle Lowry, forces a bad shot, and gets the rebound. Another big possession. And then later, 153, Team LeBron. James Harden plays great defense on Pascal Siakam in the post, who's bigger. But, I mean, James Harden, we've always said, is a great post defender, just not perimeter defender, excuse me. But just the final possessions where Team Giannis, like Giannis was saying, we were really going at James Harden.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, and that was just because James Harden really locked up and really just gave it his all in the AllStar game, and that was just great to see.
For sure. And
oh my gosh, I was mesmerized. You're so great. That was so great.
Let's go. Yeah, and also Giannis was pretty much locked up by whoever throughout the whole second half.
He didn't score the entire fourth quarter, correct?
LeBron locked up Giannis for a good portion of that second half. I mean, he was not able to do anything offensively. And another little jab he threw whenever they were doing the drafts for the All-Star game. He said, oh, well, I didn't pick Harden because I wanted somebody that would pass the ball. Well, their assist numbers in the All-Star game, Harden had 6, Giannis had 4. So, I mean, come on, man.
Numbers, people, numbers.
Numbers don't lie, man. They don't. So,
I got my mathematician over here. I got my sideline reporter over here. What an entourage.
You got to back up that talk, man. Giannis is just, he needs to shoot more and talk less. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Also, did anybody catch the clips of the players during the national anthem?
Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Okay,
bad.
so it's panning through. It's panning to celebrities. It's panning to all the players. And it was a very unique.
Another one, second one in the past few years.
What was Fergie?
Fergie, yeah.
They were all laughing.
It was a very unique national anthem.
Yeah.
It was
and you have everybody just holding back with all their might, about to cry because they're about to laugh so hard. But that was awesome. Overall, I think the entire weekend was just very stellar. Like you said, Chicago did a wonderful job. It was a wonderful All-Star weekend in every way. But let's switch gears a little bit. I've said it once and I will say it again. Cheat or be cheated on. That's next. Welcome back to Clutch City Roundtable. So I say cheat or be cheated on in a very joking manner. I know it is not what the Astros did was wrong, and we have accepted that. But what's wrong with giving a little humor into this whole entire situation, because everybody wants to talk about it for as long as they have. Anyway, the Houston Astros are currently in West Palm Beach for spring training, and things have been interesting to say the least. There's a lot to unpack from the last few days in spring training. So let's kind of do a storyline recap. To start off, last Thursday, we had Jim Crane address the media for pretty much the first time with an apology. When I say apology, it was kind of lack of an apology.
May I ask, is it cheating? Excuse me?
I think that Jim Crane was it was not sincere in any way. He did not take any of the blame. He kind of left the team out to dry, in a sense, by saying, and I quote, "I should not be held accountable." Yes, you should. It's your billion-dollar industry. It's your billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that we need 100% unison right now, and I think that Jim Crane started off the apology in the worst possible way that we could have, and that is the reason that we are getting a lot of the backlash that we are. But Tyler, what were your thoughts on his apology?
Yeah, so the whole entire press conference that took place this past week with Jim Crane and a couple of players was a complete disaster. I mean, I had it on live, and I was going in with, high expectations. Hopefully we can say some stuff, move along. This was a terrible moment. You did nothing to better the situation for the Houston Astros. You made it 100 times worse and gave the national media every piece of ammunition they will need for the next 2 years to just talk about this as often as they can.
Yes.
Whoever the crisis management team that was hired for this, I don't know if they are just awful. If Jim Crane just didn't listen and was an idiot, but this was bad beginning to end. Crane literally said at one point that the sign stealing didn't have an impact on the game, referring to the ALCS with the Yankees.
Our opinion is that this didn't impact the game. We had a good team. We won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that.
And then 5 minutes later...
Not even. It was like 180
seconds.
Yeah, or even less.
Said, I did not say that.
It was right after.
I was like, wait, dude, yes, you did.
I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Basically, as the commissioner said in his report, he's not going to go backwards. It's hard to determine how it impacted the game, if it impacted the game, and that's where we're going to leave it.
Dude,
Dusty should have been like, hey.
Yeah, well, and
Why is Dusty there?
That's a whole nother thing. Dusty is so awkward, and I hate it for him. But
with those glasses.
He's sitting there. They don't want to ask him questions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Dusty and Jim Crane are available. Like, no one wants to ask Dusty questions.
He wasn't there. This was clearly the time to address and start apologizing. He just started it off in the worst possible way. I think we both reiterated that.
Terrible.
Just terrible.
Then we have the Altuve jersey allegations. So everybody's seen Aroldis Chapman right after Jose nails that homer. He's running in 2019. So he's running to home plate and he's holding his jersey, saying, "Don't rip it off, don't rip it off." Everybody started these allegations that he was wearing an electronic buzzer. This was not fun because it sucks so bad whenever people pick on literally the best person that there possibly is. Your thoughts on this?
I'm just, this stuff is just really gets under my skin. It's driving me insane for a bunch of different reasons. But the Altuve stuff, when it comes to the stupid buzzer allegations, why would they admit everything that they've done, but just not that?
When they had immunity.
I'm
sorry, when you have immunity, you're going to go ahead and say everything, because what Manfred said was, if you're not telling the truth and we find out, you're done.
Exactly.
You're dead to baseball.
Yeah. And it's Altuve, like, I get that you got to look into it, but I'm also going to reference an article that was put out either today or yesterday by a guy named Matt through Medium.com. He went through and broke down literally numerous times. For whatever reason, the Astros, this became a thing back starting in like 2015, where guys would hit a walk-off and the team would like tackle them and rip their jerseys.
Yeah.
Happened all the time with Altuve and other players. And it happened with Correa that year in 2017 whenever he hit the walk-off in the 11th inning in Game 2 of the ALCS. So, I mean, his jersey was ripped off. There was no buzzer. And people were saying that Altuve, whenever he told him not to rip it off, that he went straight to the dugout. No, he didn't.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes later.
He did an interview, like he was out there for a while.
Hugging everybody, hugging people like very aggressively that you think that something would maybe fall off.
Yeah, they were still like pulling his shirt and like he was trying to hold it.
I mean, it's just like, it's not enough. Like, it's not enough that we have this sign stealing scandal. There's got to be more. Altuve's got to have a buzzer somewhere on his chest. Reddick, they said, had a buzzer at one point. It was a piece of confetti.
Yeah.
Give me a break, man. Come on. Give me a break.
Then, right after all of this happens, we have the initial Bregg and Altuve apologies.
I'm really sorry.
I think that these apologies were good. They kept it they got right to the point. These guys are so tired of dealing with this. So they basically said, look, we messed up. I'm sorry. Bregg, I think, was a little bit more sincere.
I'm really sorry.
But now come to find out, Altuve was not using the system at all.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Well, I mean, I do believe it. I do believe it. I don't see why Correa would want to take the heat off just certain players. I mean, I guess maybe if he was good friends with them, that's possible, but I believe it. Altuve's been great since he's been in the league.
And he's Altuve. He's, you know, hitting pitches that are way outside the...
I mean, he's a batting... But I do have to disagree with you on the apologies, though. I thought Bregman and Altuve's apologies were terrible. You cannot think that you're going to give a 30-second scripted red apology and think that anyone's going to take that as sincere. Yeah. It came off like, especially with Bregman, it came off like he was just like my mom's making me apologize kind of deal.
I'm really sorry.
Really?
So, I mean,
I mean, it looks like they're just tired of talking about this, and I get that they have to. You have to eat your crow. You have to, you know, take your punishment. But I think that in defense, I think that you're correct. But the media is going to grab anything that they said that day and use it against them, no matter what. So even if it was the most sincere, even if they wasted their time coming up with this grand apology, nobody.
I absolutely agree with that too. But the thing that's also frustrating is when they did the open clubhouse directly after the press conference, they were great in there. Bregman too, like everything. They answered every question. They sounded sincere. Correa was amazing.
Yeah.
But that press conference between Crane and them was just...
It was just a disaster from start to finish.
Terrible.
Yeah, and we had that Twitter post whenever we said, do you believe the Astros apologies were sincere?
Oh, we did.
And what was the percentages?
It was 62% was no.
Oh, Houston, you savages.
Yeah, we had 62%.
I mean, so imagine nationally.
I think I'd put yes. I was like, whatever. Clearly, I'm a gung-ho fan, for better or worse. But then... this is really what fueled the fire. The Cody Bellinger remarks. In his stoner city boy voice saying, oh, we'll play it for you right now.
You know, I thought the apologies were whatever. I thought Jim Crane's was weak. I thought Manfred's punishment was weak, giving him immunity. I mean, these guys were cheating for 3 years. You know, I think what people don't realize is Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 17. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us, but.
Yeah.
But I think his statement was absolutely childish. It was ignorant. It was hateful.
Bellinger, dude, if you're going to talk about having a World Series taken away from you, try to bat better than 143 during the World Series. Try to have an on-base percentage better than 172. Try not to have 17 strikeouts across the entire series. Oh, and he had a fielding error. This dude was trash.
You
and
lost
you are
that
acting
ring.
like some guys maybe knowing a pitch, which they say they didn't use it a lot in the playoffs, and you're changing your signs. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But get out of here, dude. Bellinger is trash. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for it at all.
Who smoked him?
So is your name Carlos Correa? Because that was a similar response that Carlos Correa had.
That's my dude now.
Which was stellar. Yeah. His comeback, his defense for Jose.
I mean, Cody, like, you know the facts. We're all in there. And nobody wants to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this. Jose Altuve was the one guy that didn't use the trash can. The few times that the trash can was banged was without his consent. And he will go inside the clubhouse, inside the dugout to whoever was banging the trash can, and he'll get pissed. He'll get mad. He'll say, I don't want this. I can hit like this. Don't you do that to me. He played the game clean. The data of the bangs that's on Twitter or whatever, it shows it. Altuve played clean the whole year. When you look at Altuve's numbers on the road, he hit 400 on the road. He didn't cheat nobody of the MVP. He earned that MVP. He's a 6-time All-Star, 3-time batting champion, MVP, 5-time Silver Slugger. He's been doing this for a long time, Ken, for a long time. So for me to go out there and for him to go out there and defame Jose Altuve's name like that, like, it doesn't sit right with me.
Everything that he said was amazing. He said, basically, learn the facts.
Yeah.
And we really feel bad about everything that happened in 2017. But the problem I have is when players go out there and they don't know the facts. They're not informed on the situation, and they just go out there in front of cameras and just talk. And with me, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't sit right at all. So when he talks about that we cheated for 3 years, I mean, he either doesn't know how to read, is really bad at reading comprehension, or is just not informed at all. But the commission's report clearly says that all those activities were conducted in 2017.
And he just kept it very short and simple, and it really, I think, packed a punch that people needed to hear. And I think that Carlos Correa stock rose incredibly, immensely.
You should get informed. You should be informed before you talk about other players. If you don't know the facts, then you gotta shut the
Houston.
What I really liked about what Carlos Correa did is he said he went back and actually watched the games and really analyze them and pick them apart. And I think that's really big with getting the people to see that, like, in the playoffs, there's not much you can really do to steal signs because there's so much going on.
For sure.
And they change it so much anyway. So,
Then we have the remarks from multiple players across the board. Ross Stripling, Mike Clevenger, Alex Wood, Nick Markakis made comments alluding to the fact that they will be trying to peg Astros hitters. What the heck? How in the world are you going to say that? How are you going? That is the most childish thing I've ever heard of. What, you're mad and you're going to throw a fit and hurt somebody?
Yeah. I think the league will do a pretty good job at protecting our guys.
I think so as well. But did y'all hear that there's a current over-under for Astros plunkings? It is at 83.5.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm going over.
Over? Oh my gosh.
I mean,
this is not a game.
I know there'll be some guys like Trevor Bauer that'll be out there and they can't wait to do this, to plunk somebody.
Honestly, Trevor Bauer better watch his freaking back.
He's a turd too. But I think overall the league will protect them. Guys will get the message, hey, you can't do this because you're going to get suspended. You're going to lose time. But yeah, I think it'll be under. I think they got plunked like 65 or 66 times this year, so maybe it'll be more than that, but not quite 83.
Yeah, I was being facetious when I said over.
I'm glad that the commissioner came out with the statement, hey, anybody that does this is not a laughing matter.
Right.
Then you got Francis Martis suspended for the entire 2020 season for testing positive for PES's. He is now out for the season, so just kind of fueling the fire. Yeah. Moral of the story, there's nothing else to say, but the Astros have to perform this season.
Yep.
We have to show out every single day, every single game.
Yep. Put up or shut up.
Yeah, because nobody's going to stop talking. This is a scandal of the century, honestly. This is a sports scandal of the century.
Yep.
I think this trumps Deflategate, unfortunately.
It's not good, that's for sure. They got to win, like you said, or it's going to be even worse. I mean, imagine if the Astros somehow don't make the playoffs or have a losing record. I mean, it's going to be really, really bad.
So basically, Houston, it is us against the world. Show out to Minute Maid. Be there for your team because you're in there for, in sickness and in health. Yeah. For better or for worse. This is our husband, okay? The Astros are our husband.
Or a wife.
Or a wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got no husband.
But up next, should the NBA dunk contest have ended in a tie and the Houston Roughnecks off to a hell of a start? Stay tuned. Welcome back to Clutch City Roundtable. So the NBA Slam Dunk Contest commenced this weekend, obviously, and there was some controversy with the winner. So Derek Jones edged out Aaron Gordon for the title. Some people did not agree with this, but I want to go ahead and start with the most memorable dunks for y'all. So obviously, I'm going to take the easy one. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit. Aaron Gordon taking the pass off the side of the backboard from teammate Markelle Fultz and throwing down an incredible 360 windmill. One-handed windmill, actually.
Yep.
This was just beautiful. I mean, everything about it was perfection. Find one flaw, I dare you. Orion, what was the most memorable dunk for you?
So my most memorable dunk came from the winner, Derrick Jones Jr. It was his second to last dunk attempt when he caught a pass off the backboard, went between the legs while jumping over the passer. I don't remember who the passer was. And that's just something I've never even seen before, not even like
it did look
on the
different.
internet or anything like that, or especially not in a dunk contest.
Yeah.
So it was the most difficult dunk to me. And at the top of the finish, too, he really threw it down with a lot of power. So
yeah.
I really liked the between the legs off the backboard over somebody.
For sure.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Tyler, what was the most for you?
Well, I think as far as just the performance of the dunk, I got to agree with you on Gordon's. I mean, the windmill, that was beautiful. But as far as like showmanship and the theater of it, who was it that did the white man can't jump?
Oh,
Pat Connaughton.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was hilarious,
awesome.
and it was cool.
Because I think a big portion of this competition is your originality and, you know, the entertainment value of it. So I think that goes, you know, a long way.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Who do y'all think should have been the winner? So I honestly think that if Aaron Gordon was able to, so at his very last dunk, he jumps over 7'5", Teco Fall, and he kind of grazed him a little bit. He grazed his head. Honestly, I think if he was about 3 inches at the most higher, if he would have gotten 3 inches higher and made that a little less sloppy, he would have for sure taken the trophy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bridget. I think if AG, if he completes that dunk and it's completely clean and completely clears Taco Fall, yes, he wins.
Granted, it was 7'5".
Yeah, and that's a long way up. And he had 5 perfect scores.
I know.
Which is insane. Derrick Jones Jr. had 4, the winner. But, I mean, I think they both deserved it, really. That's actually what
Why didn't they do the tie? I
they
don't understand.
Okay, controversy. Your favorite word.
Conspiracy theories.
Okay, so actually in an interview after the game, Common, who was one of the judges, he said after the last dunk that they were going to end it in a tie. But somebody messed up, and he said he doesn't know who messed up.
Whoa.
So I don't know what happened. D Wade gave it a 9, and D Wade
got a lot of flack on
He
Twitter.
Did because Derrick Jones Jr. is his ex-teammate.
He was like, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, he wasn't. Scottie Pippen gave him a 9. I don't remember what Chadwick Boseman gave and everybody else, but I don't know. I really don't know what happened. It could have ended in a tie. Derrick Jones won, but there's a lot going on there. You never know.
Aaron Gordon robbed again, man. Twice.
Yep.
Second time.
Yeah.
Robbery.
Let's talk XFL. So the Houston Roughnecks are absolutely stellar right now. We are 2-0 after defeating LA Wildcats 27-17 in week 1, and now defeating the St. Louis Battlehawks last weekend 28-24. The Roughnecks are definitely spiking interest. They're pretty much flagship for the XFL right now. But what I really want to talk about is our quarterback, P.J. Walker, and the similarities that he has to our very own Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all have caught any of the games or at least caught some of his highlights, but he has tendencies that really resonate or that really resemble D-Watt.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch him. He was actually the first MVP for week 1. But Walker was released from the Colts and advised by Andrew Luck to join the XFL. So Luck's father is actually the commissioner of the XFL. So obviously,
Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver Luck. Yeah. And so then in just 2 games, he's had 7 touchdowns, 442 yards passing. He's at 61.4% completion rate, and he's just a dual threat quarterback, similar to Lamar Jackson, similar to Pat Mahomes, and similar to our very own Deshaun Watson. So what are y'all's thoughts about PJ right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's looking like MVPJ, if I may.
Oh, man.
Dad joke.
But, yeah, he's looking great, though. And like you said, the Roughnecks overall look awesome. They're one of 2 undefeated teams left in that league so far. But PJ, man, he's doing great. The only thing that kind of sucks for the XFL is, especially if PJ keeps this up, they're going to lose him after 1 year. Because he's going to get invited to an NFL minicamp, and he'll probably get a roster spot at at least as a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm curious about, is to see what happens with this whenever their great players keep getting lost.
Do you think that the XFL is going to turn into like kind of a post-college opportunity? So maybe you didn't make it into the NFL after college, or maybe you didn't make it in the NFL, you know, or you made it for a few years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to be a way for teams to kind of scout?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Does the XFL? I don't think the XFL wants that though. I don't think that there's.
I think they know right now that is what they have to be. They have to be the minor league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the only, and I think they'd be fine with that. The only bad thing is that won't really sustain business. I mean, it's been fun, but so far I think the Roughnecks are averaging about 17,000 people at the games, which is, I mean, it's a fun crowd. That's great. But Texans games are at 71,000.
Yeah.
So.
But at the same time, getting those college athletes that maybe couldn't get to the NFL is better for them. It might generate even more revenue, and then they won't lose those quarterbacks like P.J. Walker, because those backup quarterbacks in the NFL, they're making $3-4 million a year, and maybe they get to a point where they can give the quarterbacks in the XFL $3 to $5 million a year, so they can hold on to them.
For sure. I mean, I really hope the XFL succeeds. I just. And so far, it's actually been, the product has been good.
Yeah.
Like, the games have been.
The games are awesome.
I like the fact that it's all about entertainment. You know, if you've seen, you know, all the shotgunning. You know, shotgunning beers after. If y'all saw, I don't know which game it was, but the fans had formed this cup line.
The snake.
Freaking like, like 12 feet high or 12 feet long. That's amazing. And then, you know, players jumping into the stands and, you know, doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I like the theatrics of it, you know? It's been a lot of fun.
For sure.
But for people that don't, you know, I feel like the XFL is pretty unknown right now. So let's play a little game to bring some light to people who may not be as familiar with the XFL. So we're going to go through each rule, and I want y'all to basically tell me if you like the rule, if you agree with it, and maybe if you want a little bit of explanation.
Okay.
Sounds
so
good.
To start off, I think the biggest rule, the biggest difference from the NFL is the point system. After a touchdown, the team has the option of running a play from the 2, 5, or 10-yard line, worth 1, 2, or 3 points respectively. The team must run an offensive play, and no kicking plays are allowed. 3, 2, 1. We're going to thumbs up, and we're going to thumbs down if we don't like it.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think it's fun. It brings excitement back into it. Extra points are so stupid. They're such a waste of time. They're such a, they should be a surefire point.
Yeah.
This brings some excitement into it. It brings some originality into it.
Yeah, I'm all about kicking out of the game as much as possible. So yeah, and if you're down by, you know, up to 9 points, you're still in the game.
Oh
so
yeah, you're in the game the entire game virtually.
Yeah.
Because you can come back really fast. But yeah, I like the scoring system because it gives you, the game is less, there's less of a chance for the game to be tied. Like there's always going to be a fluctuation in the score because you can either go for 1, 2, or 3 points.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on your preference.
Agree.
All right, 2, punt return. A punting team cannot release past the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. Defenders over the gunner cannot cross the line of scrimmage until the ball is kicked. Touchback and out of bounds ball goes to the 35-yard line instead of the 25-yard line. So basically what this does is it allows for punt returns to happen more often because there's a bigger margin between the defense and offense.
Yeah.
Do we like this? 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
No, I don't like it. I do not like it.
You are boring.
I do not like it. One, football right now, the problem with it is safety. And going back to safety, if you want to make it safer, so the starting point for the players on the kicking team, they can't go until it's kicked, right? So the person, it's just going to be a faster collision, first of all. Second of all, punt returns and kick returns are part of the part that are unsafe. So, and even on top of that, it takes out the punt. Y'all said earlier you want to take out kicking. I understand that. But there's still strategy in punting. So if I'm a punter and I'm trying to pin somebody deep, I still want to be able to kick it out of bounds and not
corner.
and not it come out to the 35-yard line. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Very
actually,
well stated.
go ahead.
I'm just very well stated. I actually didn't think about that because I'm not a nerd and thinking about safety. But good point. You know, I get what you're saying.
Because you can't pin somebody deep in their own end zone as a kicker unless it rolls like 15 yards. It depends on the positioning, but like Actually, Marquette King, he was in the NFL. He's in the XFL now. That was probably the best punt I had ever seen in my entire life.
He's got the swag.
Yeah, it didn't end down the 1 yard line because one of his players messed it up for him. But that punt was incredible.
Overtime shall consist of 5 rounds, staged in alternating single-play possessions, as is customary in NHL shootouts or MLS penalty kicks. A round will consist of one offensive play per team. Each possession starts at the opponent's 5-yard line, and the offensive team has 1 play to score. The team with more points after 5 rounds is the winner. For scoring purposes, each successful overtime score is worth 2 points. Do we like this? 3, 2, 1.
Woo!
Fun.
Yeah.
Super fun. I like it. Overtime sucks. This makes overtime a little bit better.
The only time I watch hockey and soccer is in the overtime periods whenever they're doing a shootout. So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All right. So clearly we're all, pretty much in unison for the most part. The XFL offers a lot of excitement. It offers a lot of different things.
Cheap tickets, too.
Cheap tickets, yeah. This is, for you that can't afford the stupid, outrageous prices of the Texans. There you go. There's your opportunity. But we just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Clutch City Roundtable. We are having so much fun. We love all of the comments and everything, but y'all go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yes. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We love you guys so much. All right, but we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.